Good afternoon. You're watching Beyond the Headlines. Today we bring you a tragedy that has shaken Cebu City, the landfill collapse in Barangay Binaliw. I'm DJ Moises. On January 8, 2026, a massive pile of garbage at the landfill suddenly collapsed in the afternoon, burying workers under tons of waste and debris. Initial reported casualties, one confirmed dead, dozens were missing, and estimates varied. No, there was 34, there was 38, and there was also 35. After 72 hours, 34 to 38 workers remained missing, and rescue teams continued to battle unstable conditions, hazardous gases, and the immense challenge of moving tons of debris to locate survivors. Why did it take 3 days before significant progress was made in rescuing those trapped? How prepared was the city to respond to a disaster of this scale? And most importantly, what preventable gaps or delays we should address so this should not happen again? Joining us in the studio is Councilor Dave Tumulak, Chair of Cebu City's Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. Good afternoon, Councilor Dave,
Yes, good afternoon, Sir John. Good afternoon sa ato mga viewers.
and welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
And like what I said earlier, we're truly grateful that you are here today because it's also important for our viewers to get educated, no?
Yes.
On what happened and what we can do as a city. And considering that I know that you're just 200 days into the job, no?
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yes.
Sige, so for the benefit of our viewers, including myself, what was, how was the first hours, no? How did that look like
Okay.
after the collapse?
The incident was we received a call about 4:50 in the afternoon.
So that's already like 50 minutes after, no?
Yes,
Okay.
50 minutes after the
Okay.
incident, when we noticed that the incident site is a landfill. Lisod magod kaayo og we go directly. Even though our responders went directly to the site, we have also to consider what are the significant hazards. So, on the response and rescue operation, there should have been a planning before we move in and to rescue those victims inside. Basically, on that afternoon, we rescued about two.
Okay.
Two.
Oh, yes.
There were two employees we rescued right away because they are being placed near the site, which our sniffing dogs notice it. Then there was a retrieval operation. So in regards to rescue and operation, this is different from other disasters that we've encountered. Before, I went to Ginsaugon. There was a mudslide and landslide in Ginsaugon. I went also in Tacloban during the Yolanda. I went also in Ormoc. I went also there. In Catanduanes, I was also there. There are some aspects that we have also to consider. This is different because this is a trash slide. So you have also to consider the methane gas. We have to talk to the engineering, so safety officers, how they process the landfill, because as what we have known, you talk about landfill, a pile of garbage and then soil, covered it with soil,
Supposedly, yes.
and plastic. So when we talked to the safety officers, they followed. Can you imagine trash, soil, plastic, trash again, soil?
Plastic.
Yeah. So we've noticed that basa gid siya. No? Basa gid siya. And then the lishe.
Yeah.
Sorry sa mga nag-lunch karon. Napay lishe.
Kung sa tong mga kwantum ang duga sa garbage.
ang duga sa garbage. So as a responder, as a officer, this is my responsibility to secure also our rescuers. Yes, it's true. There are some rescuers they trying to move in right away. I said no. It's difficult this kind of situation. We have to consider these significant hazards. So there was a meeting with some other rescuers with the Prime Solutions. So nakita na to, inigsulod pa lang daan. Can you imagine a rescuer? He has to stabilize first the upper portion of the said landfill so that we can move in. Mukamang ngadto sa ilawom. And then, when we see the schematic diagram of the building, there are so many metal trusses. Metal trusses, heavy equipment inside, which is the conveyors. Tanaw na mo ang conveyors, asa dapitan nakapahimutang. And then we also check the pile of garbage before the incident happened. So, ang pile of garbage was dili siya makita na to on the video, makita na to nga mura siya bukid, but not mura siya og hagdanan, no, mura siya og hagdanan. And then ang ni cave in ang katong pinaka upper part, when he hit on the second level, nadagan po ng second level to third level, so it's just like a washout. No, it's just like washout. When we measure the structure and then the said trash, mga 10 meters iyang nasibog ang building. So makita na mo ang structural design. So there is a metal, ay kadagag risk ani, the metal inside, methane gas plus the leachate plus the garbage. So the rescue operations was very delicate. Lisod jud kay ang pagsud, and I'm proud sa ato ang mga rescuers na-achieve gid nila portion by portion, slowly, kay mahadlok ta nga basin unyag naay rescuer nga madisgrasya unya didto. So on the first day, mo itong gibuhat. On the second day, we've used a life detecting radar. Cebu City na ana-ana. And then nitabang sad na to ang copper mining naapod. Nakita na to nga dunay signs of life dito sa area, but unstable ang trash to dito. So mao na to, pag nakita na to nga lisod-lisod gyud, so we're asked the assistance from the Prime. We need a 50 tons of crane to lift the trusses. Kay katong yung mga trusses, mo gitanaw na mo nga pinaka-risk. Kay katong mga conveyors, dagko nga mga conveyors, stationary mo to siya. But the trusses itself, naka-cover nga trash, it's unstable. So, tuod man, on the third day, fourth day, nangabot na itong mga 50 tonners nga mga equipments. So, nakapadayon na ta, plus the bulldozer, the backhoe. So, phase by phase, the area is, we divided it into 4 quadrants. First quadrant, A, B, C, D. So, A, kinsa na nga mga rescue group. B, kinsa sa dito. So that we also have to have a manifest. Kinsay on duty on that day, mga rescuers, what are their capabilities, onya experience, ato sang gitanaw. So, simultaneously, ato nang na-cordon ang area, human to makuha ang mga metal trusses. So, kada adlaw doon na tayo makuha. No, doon na tayo makuha. But sadly, they're all found deceased. So mo nay nakalahi sa ato ang rescue operations compared to landslide, ordinary landslide. Kaya ordinary landslide is just a soil.
Straightforward.
Yeah. But dito magud ang fumes, ang basura, ang baho sa basura. Mabito to some of our rescuers mag-red na gani ang mata by the time nga naanagay ko dito, please pull out. Adto ka dito sa open air because that's a sign nga kuan na gyud tungod sa gases,
Methane gas.
magkuha na methane gas plus di baho pa gyud. Unya hatagan nato sila og mga breathing apparatus, mga mask, and some of our rescuers. I'm so proud of the Cebuano rescuers. Kada bang ang ilang effort to retrieve and to search and to rescue, hopefully makakuha pa ta og mga buhi. But sad to say, wala na gid in town.
No, towards the end.
Yeah, towards the end.
The other thing said, on a technicality of in an event of a disaster, at least from what I know, there's always the count off.
Yes.
So that in the few crucial minutes, it can already be established how many survived and how many are yet to be rescued, and how many who perished, just in case. In this case, why did the number keep on changing by the day? Okay, it started with 38, and then there was 34, there was 36, and then
Yes.
there was 35. What happened?
Yes. On the first day, the company itself, they haven't provided us the list of employees inside. For the reason, ang ilang HR office was also inside on
And
the facility.
and they were part of the
Yes.
section that was also covered.
Yes.
Okay.
Other victims are HR personnel, HR managers. The computers are inside. So, ang katong mga managers, uban, nga separate office, a few meters away from the trash slide, maoray taga-survive. And then, makasabot sad mi sa among side nga dili sila makasulti pa namo tungod kay they are on shock, and then they are also kuan nga naka-survive sila. So nalangay gyud ang lista. First day, second day, nagpada og list. Then me myself, I advise the remaining employees nga please try to check adto aning mga balay-balay aning inyong mga employees, so that we can confirm how many are alive, how many are on duty. Diha lang nato nahibaw-an nga on the list nga ilang gipakita diri nato. Nagkaingon mi, daghan pa ha, mga moabot to sila almost 40. So, when they verify the names, naiuban nga luckily duty supposedly, but
Absent.
they are on emergency leave. There are some they filed a leave. There are some unluckily nga supposedly mugawas unta silang 2 p.m. but wa sila mo pauli. Naabtan sila mga 4 o'clock dito na hitabo. So,
So na mga plus and minuses.
yeah, plus and minuses atong nakita, and we the city government also wanted to share also our social workers. Gipaubanan ginato sa mga social workers to verify the names, and then it was confirmed. So nakita na to nga 36 lagi di ang tuwa dito sa sulod minus atong na-retrieve na to nga duha ka buok, so 38. So mao to ang list nga nakita nato. Not only they are all employees sa Prime, but there are 4 subcontractors inside who's in charge for the machineries, separate subcontractors, and we call na sad sa lain na sad nga subcontractors how many are on duty, so that we can totally account pila gyud totally naa dinha. So they also had the list. So nakita nato, na-confirm, then padayon good. Even though this is a 24 hours retrieval rescue operations.
And then you mentioned earlier nga a landfill
Yes.
is kalot, garbage, plastic, and then kalot na po, garbage, plastic.
Yuta, napay soil.
Oh, nice soil. From what you saw, or at least your team saw ba, was that really the situation?
Based on our witness, dili man.
Kuan gid no, it's really like
It's
a pile
really a
of
trash.
garbage. Oh.
A pile of trash.
A trial for the other thing also that I've read, and I'd like to confirm, there was also one article that I saw that allegedly said nga the pile of garbage was already
As high as
as high as 20
20 men. 20 meters, 30 meters.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that
Yes, it's
also
true.
what you saw? Okay.
Yes, it's true.
Sige. Now, ang next akong question is, it looks like it's really very risky, no? And in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, it also looked like a disaster waiting to
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
No? And then the other thing said is, kanang we covered this mansad immediately after, and we've heard about the methane gas. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in my opinion, a risk or a hazard like this on a landfill should have been identified.
Yes.
So, why was this kanang how to get past the hurdle ba? Why was this not identified before even the disaster happened?
Yes. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources, they issued a ECC sa prime waste so that they were also allowed to do the business activity. So in terms of the situation, it should be the DNR EMB and our CISNRO for their monthly, weekly check on the facility.
Because to me, it looks like it's already a given hazard,
Yes.
which should have been part in the assessment and part of the contingency plan that should have been in place.
Yes. Actually, Councilor Garganera and Councilor June Alcover made some privileged speech last year to inform the public on the situation. And me, myself, right after the typhoon Tino, I was in the helicopter right after the following day. I saw this Binaliw landfill. I reported it to Cebu City Disaster. Please inform the landfill. Doon na landslide, no trash slide dito sa some areas. So they properly informed. I don't know how come the incident was happened, even though it is risky. When we conducted our rescue operation, there's also an impending threat for us because some of the portions of the landfill, nakita gid namo nga na say crack. So anytime
It could also recur.
occur the trash slides. So mo na problema.
So
Oo.
I get the part no when you said nga while we also need to kanang rescue the soonest time possible those who were missing at that time, but there was also a balance that's needed not to put too much risk also on the rescuers.
Yes.
No? So I've asked earlier katong the question mark and about why methane and was not identified as a hazard in the assessment that they could have acted immediately when it
Immediately.
happened. The second is you mentioned also about the 50 tons na crane or the
Crane. Oh.
heavy equipment. Why were this also not on standby, quote unquote, somewhere, not necessarily in Binaliw, so that in such an event in which that risk is also part of what should have been identified would have been addressed right away?
Yes, we in the city government, we don't have a 50-tonner crane. It should be the company itself. There should have been a equipment standby on the facility because they know the hazards.
The hazards, yes.
Yes, they know the hazards.
Especially that the trash were already piling, di ba?
Yes,
So it's
yes.
bound to happen.
Yes, but and secondly is our roads. Can you imagine a 50-tonner crane? How many meters? So you have to check also on the road network leading towards the prime. So what we did is we passed through Mandawi City to
Just to pull them in.
Kanduman,
Oh.
Mandawi, onya plus the bridges nga naabay capability ang isa ka bridge
To-
to pass through. Right
Ang
after
capacity.
Tino, there are 3 bridges leading towards the Binaliw landfill that cannot accommodate 20 tons of vehicle. So ang magibuhat dito na sa konsolasyon miagi nya palapos diri sa Binaliw. So it takes about 24 hours po, no?
For the heavy,
Heavy equipment just to pass through on our road networks.
And then when it, oh, by the way, how many were the rescuers? Kay, line sa number, there was a report that I read na it's 400. There's also one that says 100. So how many mangyud?
Yeah, a total, when we listed all our rescuers at the time during the first day up to the 16th day, so the total gitag mga 400 plus get, more or less 400 plus. Because on the first day, kay naaman tayo gitawag na to check-in. So all rescuers should check in. The names, address, the organization, the contact numbers. On the first day, second day, first team. On the second day, lain na sad nga team. So lain-lain nga mga rescuers na to diri sa province. And then as far as Iloilo, as far as Davao, miabot po sila diri. So daghan gyud ang mga rescuers nagtabang. BFP, PNP, Armed Forces, CCDRMO sa mga local government units also assisted us.
And then for the 400 total kanang rescuers na plus minus, how many of them were also trained
Yes.
to handle that kind of disaster?
Yes. The 400 actually are all trained.
All
Now,
trained.
there are some groups they wanted to help, but based as what I've said earlier, we have to check first their capability and their experience. So there are some organizations, sorry to say, nga ato yung gibalibaran, because magpataka magutag pasod og mga rescuers, it might pose also a threat. No?
Basin mo
sa area.
dugang sila.
Makadugang sila. So mao na ato ang problema. And sad also to say, there are dunay one rescuer was died due to sepsis. Part to siya, 3 days to siya dito. And then, misud sa to siya dito sa rubble. And then, naadayin siya sa mada ay sa tiil. So, pag human niya 3 days, paspas kayo on the 5th day, he died.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate
Yeah.
development. And I would agree, no? That's why you were also looking at their capability
Yes.
and their readiness.
Yes.
So that they can help solve the problem and not add, no?
Not add on the problem.
On the problem. So, given the scenario that you just presented, are you also, in your opinion, are you also comfortable to say that the 72 hours with 38 people still missing, a good measure that it was a successful rescue and retrieval operation?
Actually, based on the structural design, we're hoping, no, that we can get some victims under the rubble nga mabuhi pa. No, but on the third day, it's difficult for us also to say that they are all perished. Kay makita magod nato sa area kana asay mga family few meters away from the site, kana asay nagtan-aw, and then there are some families also went there few meters away. They're just hoping that their family members buhi pa, and ato sa mga rescuers, they are also eager to find victims under the rubble. Hopefully they're also alive. But mo lang to'y nakahatag og kadasig sa ato ang mga rescuers, hoping na apay buhi dito sa ilaw.
So, I know we've covered this earlier, but I'd just like to clarify it also for myself and for the viewers. Did Prime Waste have pre-existing disaster response plan? As far as you have observed?
Well, in fairness also with the Prime, they provided us manpower also. No.
Pero like for example, the capability but to address an impending disaster like that? Kasi po, ano yung mga sige, the context of my question is, like for example, I work in the private sector. We have kanang already simulated, like in event of fire, in event of earthquake, etc. This is what we're going to do. So I was also anticipating that for a location like that and for a risk like that, something like that also was already prepared even before. Did you observe that they have a pre-existing
Honestly, when they
plan?
respond in that kind of disaster, no, because much of their employees are also the victims inside. So nagpadalang sila mga tao lang dito nga dili sa taga prime, no? Kay we do believe nga we do understand nga ang ilan sa mga employees
We're also victims.
were also victims inside. But nagpadagid sila to assist us, but different banggod ang mga workers. When you talk about a worker, a skilled worker, rescue operations is different. We have also to consider some aspects and threats and how to respond, how your approach was going on. So lahi gyud ang empleyado compared to rescuers.
So in the overall then, because the way I see it, 72 hours, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
Councilor, 72 hours was really too long, no?
Yeah, that's
For the wait and see, for the lack of better term. What could have been done differently, and not necessarily
Yes.
on the disaster sana, risk management nga side, but at the same time on DENR and also on the part of prime waste, no?
Yeah. First is the rescuers will dig in under the rubble. And then the DNR also, sila po na nakakita po how we respond and how we rescue it. I think they are all in awe to what happened. No? Because this is the first time in Cebu this kind of incident. Lahi sa nung payatas, it was long before. Lahi ni siya. Kay trash magod. And then by the time we'll be going a rescue operation, you have to dig in again. And I saw it. Nga, nakakita dyan ko nga when they dig in, sige sila count dito, cave in. So, ato gi-pull out ang ato ang rescue
Rescuers.
using the rope. So, lisod good sa area. Hopefully, this is an eye-opener for all of us. Not only the DNR, but also for those companies, rescuers, and the local government units to strengthen, no, with collaboration itself sa mga private companies, especially those companies dealing with hazards, dealing with risk. We have to strengthen our rescue response, disaster preparedness in every company.
Yes, especially in my opinion, especially that as far as waste management is concerned, it looks like we're really on the landfill palang yun.
Yeah.
We're not moving to other alternative solutions. So something like this is unfortunately a risk that still will continue.
Yes. The other day, there was a executive session attended by the new EMB DNR head, Attorney Ang. I told Attorney Ang, please tell us what would be the safest way to how to trash our garbage, how to throw our garbage, and what are the environmental aspect by way of how we dispose our garbage, so that this cannot be happening again. Nga dunay mga incident, disaster. Kapag sige lang taan sakto tayo mga ingon nga moabot na sad ni. Okay, mao man lang gihapon ang
Landfill
sistema.
man gihapon ta.
Landfill on sa man waste to energy, because before it was Councilor Joel Garganera also raises the concern that we have to move on the next level, waste to energy. And then the other government official said we have to use the incinerator. So that's the reason why I asked Attorney Ang, please tell us what would be the best. so that we can move on. This cannot be happen again.
Again, correct.
Mm.
Oh. And then the other things that Kato, I mentioned about my at least experience in corporate practice about the assessment and then how it should be done. The other question also that I have is just in case it existed, there should also have been drills and scenarios, di ba?
Yes, yes.
At least from what you gathered, no? What did Prime Waste also conduct something like a regular drills or test? Because that will also supposedly address several scenarios, and one of the most obvious is just in case our employees are the victims. That sounds like a scenario for a drill, no?
I don't know if the Prime Waste doon as a scenario in regards to this kind of tragedy. No? Uh, wala ko makakita sa ilahang safety measures nga nakita. How come the facility will be placed on that specific area and few meters away is the pile of garbage? No, how come?
Obvious risk siya actually. Sad to say,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Lisod gyud, no? Hoping di na ni mahitabo, and then the national government, this is also an eye opener. This kind of landfill, how can you a landfill, supposedly a landfill is a flattened area. Nya kaluton siya, isuod ang basura, then covered with soil and plastic, then the leche. How come to man mas bukid gibutang?
Correct.
No? Nga mas taas pa man sa bukid, not only the leche, the smell, the foul odor nga mabutang ba. So hoping the DNR and the local government unit should work hand in hand nga dili nila mahitabo pag-usab.
The other thing pa there, because I think this is also a good opportunity to thank the other LGUs, no, and the
Yes.
other agencies. Although you've mentioned that in passing, who stepped up to help in the rescue and retrieval operations. What was because we also guested kanang risk reduction, disaster management office, no, regional, and at least from what I gathered into that conversation is if it involves already several kanang LGUs, which I think this case falls into that category. There's already a regional intervention also that should be introduced, no?
Yes.
Did that happen in this particular case?
In terms of the regional disaster?
Yes, and even national kay big naman gid to. Yeah.
So, based on my observation, I was there almost all day, all the time. Wa ko nakita nga national intervention except for the Bureau of Fire. The Bureau of Fire, the Philippine National Police, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, they went there to assist also us because they have some also a team of rescuers to support the rescue operation.
And then thank you for answering my question because I'm just down to last two na lang. The other thing man said good put that also surfaced as far as the general public, but at least the people that I know, is it also posted a question about how ready the city or the country when it comes to huge scale disasters such as kanang bomb explosion
Yes.
or collapsed buildings, no?
Structural
What's our readiness?
Well,
Okay.
in Cebu, I'm just talking about in Cebu. If in case, God forbid, there is a structure collapse, other agencies can also support us. In terms of sa mga local government units, when the Disaster Risk Reduction Law, Republic Act 9001, naginahinay na tao pamalit og mga rescue tools and equipment. And our training, no, naagi tayo training, kay part of the program is the training, research, and also the equipment. So sa mga national agencies in terms of Philippine National Police, Bureau of Fire, they have also their own. But we are talking about building collapse. That would be the collaboration between the contractors in Cebu because they are much more capable in terms of heavy equipment. there's a strong collaboration between the private sectors and then the local government units. In terms of fire, we can also support that, but based on the high-rise building, morag lisod-lisod. But now, this year, Mayor Nestor Archival planning to purchase a drone fire hose.
Dapat
Drone.
lang. Yes.
Naa na.
Very good.
Nagpalit na ta og magpalit tag duha
By the way,
ka unit.
kan ni siya nga kanang unsa ni was this is slightly not related, but thank you for bringing that up. Natoy myth before na until 10 floors ra gyud daw kuno ang maabtan.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes, it's true.
And a lot of the buildings now are above 10
High
floors.
rise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office also requesting the Office of the Building Official to see to it that all buildings, tall buildings, can comply on the fire suppression units and install some equipments. Kaya magina sa ato ang building code nga for floors up, you should have a elevator and you should have emergency stairways. Second, fire suppression units such as equipments, naa ba? Water sprinklers, naa ba? So, mo ano na, we're going hand in hand sa ato ang OBO. And then, nga tuas ang aerial ladder, that is a Cebu City-owned aerial ladder, atong gipagamit sa Bureau of Fire, 10 floors rin maabot. But sad to say, kuba karon. And we've requested 500,000 for the repair only. 500,000 for the repair. So, ongoing na karon. And then, usala na, sad to say, usala na kabuok di adiri sa Cebu.
So, but I'm glad at least that we are already moving forward in terms of several scenarios.
Yes.
And at the same time, the corresponding reaction and even preventive measures should these scenarios ever happen. And just for conversation lang, kanang Councilor Dave, on a private practice, manggod, so when my friends and I, we would be talking about disasters and risk assessment, once upon a time and I was like in my 20s, when we put in the document viral infection,
Yes.
usually we would roll our eyes, but it happened. COVID, diba?
Yes,
The other scenario son, that we would roll our eyes was complete shutdown of technology in the city. We would also roll our eyes, but it happened in Odette, no?
Yes, in Odette.
So the disasters now are also leveling up, no?
Yes, all types of man-made disasters, and natural disasters. We have some protocols na.
I'm glad, yeah.
Yeah, we have some protocols that was started when I started the Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office in 2014. Kita mag-start. So we've made already the disaster plan in any types of scenario, both capsize, fire, earthquake, tsunami. So doon na nataan na. And then our national agencies also, other agencies naapod, nag-align ta with the help also sa ilahas ang mga expertise. So if in case, God forbid, di na mahitabo na to, but we should be ready. But the most important thing in disaster response is katawan. We have also to educate our people. Ongoing karon sa Cebu City Disaster Risk Reduction ang ato ang mga meetings with the communities by sitio, what to do if in case there is a fire, there is a typhoon, asa napita sila mudagan. So ongoing na nagkaron. Maybe some other also LGUs doing that for the preparedness and to save lives and properties.
Sige, so thank you very much for your time. But before we let you go, Councilor, maybe you have words to the general public or to the families that were affected, or the rescuers, and the other agencies who have stepped up also to help us in this devastating tragedy.
Yes, to the families of the victims of Binaliw trash slide, nasakitan sa mi sa nahitabo, but we tried our best, pag rescue Even though mao na nahitabo nga situation, but we share also our expertise and time. Mao na among gikatabang diha kaninyo. But ngadto sad sa atong mga katawhan sa atong dakbayan Sugbo, ayaw kahadluki ang kalamidad kumuagi sa atong syudad. Sama sa kalamidad sa imong kinabuhi, kinahanglan kapangandaman para usab kitang tanan maluwas nga katawhan. See to it, gamito na to ang mga social media on the information dissemination, dili sa paghatag og fear ngadto sa publiko. We in Cebu City, we're one island in Cebu, magtinabangay ta para sa pagluwas kanatong tanan.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Councilor Dave, for joining us today, for sharing your insights,
Yeah, thank you.
your observations on our response, the challenges that
Yeah.
you and the team actually faced, and the lessons no, that we can learn from this tragedy so that nothing similar would ever happen again. So we've seen the human cost of this tragedy,
Yeah.
the families who lost their loved ones, the heroes on the front lines, and the city officials working to respond. Disasters don't just test our infrastructure, they test our readiness, our leadership, and our commitment to those whose lives are at stake. This tragedy underscores lessons that will shape how Cebu City responds in the future. I'm DJ Moises. This is Beyond the Headlines. See you on Monday. Have a blessed and meaningful weekend.